See, there we are. There's no intro. There's no like boom, 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 music, nothing. We're just live. Hi,
We're
everybody.
live.
That's right. We're
Hello.
live.
Give us an intro. Make one, Justice.
We'll make one for the Ray and Zach show. That'd be interesting. So over on the EV show, those of you who don't know, I have an intro that gets us pumped up. And here we just, we're not live, and then all of a sudden we're live. So here we are. Hello to everybody here. We have Space with us. We have Ashley with us. We have Leon. We got Mark. We got everybody in the house today. So good morning, everybody. We are talking about earnings today. Yay, real exciting subjects. Earnings are not my biggest thing. Of course, I like to know, if companies are going to stay in business, but not the most exciting topic in the world. I would much rather talk about launching a 40-story building into the air and watching it explode. That is much more interesting to me. It seems like maybe you have some interest in that as well, Justin.
Yes, I always tune into SpaceX launches because nothing interests me more than seeing millions, if not billions of dollars evaporate before my eyes. But that was
3.3 billion on that one.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. But so we'll be talking about earnings today. And if you think earnings are a bunch of baloney that you don't care about, well, stay tuned because we're also going to talk about the latest new vehicle inventory numbers just out. And there are some interesting tidbits of info there.
And some correlation. A lot of correlation between those two. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you might be in the market for a new vehicle in the months ahead, stay tuned for that. I've also got an EV market share update. If we get to it, we'll see. It's pretty interesting, but let's dive into the earnings, shall we?
Yeah. So I think the number one that everyone was talking about yesterday is at 5:00 Eastern yesterday. Tesla came out with their profits and their quarterly earnings call, and gross margins fell in Q1. I don't know that that's a big surprise to many people. Tesla has cut prices 6 times this year. Yep. So I'm not sure how you would think that their profit per vehicle, at least, wouldn't have dropped.
Yeah, and let's put a little perspective on just how far Tesla's prices have dropped, which, full transparency here. Yeah, I bought a Hyundai Ioniq 5. I love it. I've had it for exactly a year. But if the Model Y was at today's prices, whenever I was in the market, I would have bought a Model Y. Whenever I was shopping a year ago, the best-selling EV in America and soon to be the best-selling car in the world, I think, you might have to correct me on that, Justice, the Model Y.
Yep.
It went for about 65 grand a year ago, and that was before the destination charges and taxes and whatnot. Today, that same long-range all-wheel drive Model Y sells for $50,000, $59.90.
Yeah. 50.
That's insane. That's a huge drop. Yeah. And now there's a $48,000 or $49,000 standard range all-wheel drive version that gets you 279 miles on a charge. But I'm glad I didn't just bite the bullet and pay the extra $15,000 a year ago, because I would be pretty upset now. I mean, I don't blame Tesla. Does not need to refund anybody for doing this. Okay, if you bought your Tesla a few months ago, stop whining. You're not going to get a refund because the price dropped. That's not how it works. I mean, dealers drop their prices all the time, but I would still be a little bit upset and regretful. And now, I mean, Justice, you and I have talked to Ray about how he says $40,000 is his magic number, right?
Yep.
For affordability. What's the price for the rear-wheel drive Model 3 right now?
$39,990.
Ray's gonna go buy one, I bet.
I threw that out to Ray as soon as the price dropped. I'm like, okay, there you go. You're under $40,000 Model 3, which is all he needs. He doesn't need long range. He doesn't do much. So it's but I think $40,000 is kind of that. It seems Susan may disagree that $40,000 is affordable. I think generally speaking, that is a good price point of affordability. Certainly not for everybody.
Yeah,
I bought mine for, after rebates and everything, for $20,000, and that was my limit. So I could not double my car payment right now.
Yeah.
That would not be feasible for me.
Yeah, and I know we're here to talk about earnings, and we'll dive back
Well,
into that in a
yeah, yeah,
second. But I do want to mention also that when you take cost of ownership into account with fuel savings, with like a
maintenance.
rear wheel drive Model 3 for $40,000, you compare that to a I don't know $28,000 mid to upper trim Camry, and after 5 years, you're
Yep.
going to be looking at a pretty good deal with that Model 3. But so let's talk about how Tesla's earnings can be correlated or connected to these price drops we're seeing. Did Elon Musk mince any words when it came to this? I did not see the
No,
actual earnings call.
no, he was very upfront, and he, they missed their targets. They moved more units, got less profit per unit, less overall profits. I mean, that's kind of the way they went. And he said that price cuts are going to be the way they're going to get through the recession. And
Hmm.
this is their strategy going forward, and that's what it's going to be. Now the market doesn't like that. Their stock immediately this morning started dropping, but it's the long range. It's a long range point of view, which we've talked many times. Tesla always takes the long view of things. Short term pain for long term growth. It seems to be working out for them overall, and they're Elon seems to think we're headed into a pretty serious recession coming up. Not 2008 crash kind of thing, but a pretty serious recession. And this is their way forward. And he says probably more price cuts to come over the next year.
Interesting. A few months ago, I did some research for a guide that I did over at the caredge.com/guides page, where you can see hundreds and hundreds of free car buying resources and just random bits of info like the following. In 2008, in the Great Recession, new car sales dropped by almost 40%. That would be
Yeah.
catastrophic with the shaky grounds that the automotive industry continues to lie on, at least some respects of the automotive industry. I know profits are still through the roof in some cases. Um, but I don't think that's going to happen. We wouldn't be looking at another one of those situations, right?
No, I don't think. And I was when we talk about this. Right now we're talking about Tesla, but let's be honest. The whole industry overall. What do we have? Ally coming
Yeah.
in saying their income fell in quarter one. Lithia income drops 33%. We had some of the subprime lenders yesterday we talked about on the show who closed up shop because they can't get people. Inventories are rising and profits are falling because people can't move the metal like they were.
Yeah.
Costs are up. They're kind of at a point now where people are being priced out of the market. So your pool of potential buyers is lower. So inventory is growing, and we have this situation. I think that is this sort of perfect storm starting to brew. Of we're going to see, and I've been saying this for a few months now. This all just feeds into what I've been saying of end of June. I think we're going to see a pretty big, if not deflation, a major negotiable market again, where you're going to have some real shot at some real discounts because inventories are just going to keep rising. We see these, income and earnings drop across the board. Now, Stellantis hasn't released their numbers yet, but they released their sales figures and they were down 9%. Ford is up, but only because of their truck sales. Every other division of theirs is down dramatically. And their sales are going, they haven't reported earnings. Those are both going to report on May 2nd and 3rd. So we'll be, Zach and Ray will be able to dig into those numbers. But I think we're in a perfect storm here where we're going to see a more normalization maybe of the market. And we're going to be able to start, we're already seeing negotiability. Your Ioniq 5, you can actually get a discount on that now.
Crazy.
Which is, 5 months ago, you'd be like, nope, no discount. You're going to try to get under, hopefully you can get MSRP. You'll have to shop around to not get markups. And now you're talking, I've seen 5%, 5% off an Ioniq 5. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I'm not proud to say that a year ago I took a $300 one-way flight to New York to buy my car, but I did that to save over $3,000 on the car. So that is ridiculous. I know it's nonsense, but it was the situation I was in a year ago. But these days, most EV buyers, in the most competitive market segment there is today, they're not going to have to do such insane things to get a good deal. We just published a blog a few weeks ago about how negotiable EVs are right now, and we included proof. We believe proof is in the pudding here at CarEdge, and included examples from the CarEdge community of how much our car coaches like yourself, Justice, have saved our customers on electric vehicle deals. And it was pretty amazing considering what I went through just 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. But looking closer at AutoNation's earnings, and here's an interesting statistic. Their new car sales were down about 2.5%, but used car sales at AutoNation were down 15%. Wow. Now, with what you encounter on a day-to-day basis helping our customers, Justice, what do you gather from that statistic?
Well, I will tell you that doesn't surprise me in that, as in the last 2 weeks, especially, deals are being able to be negotiated a little bit, and AutoNation's a no haggle dealer. So when you set your price and you say that's what it is, and you can go, okay, well, that's the same price as everyone around you, except for everyone around you I can negotiate and get lower on.
Yep.
Yeah, I can absolutely see where that sort of plays into it. AutoNation's like CarMax the prices aren't horrible, but they're not great. You can't really negotiate. Now, AutoNation's a little bit different in that you get the right GM at that AutoNation and you might actually be able to negotiate. But overall, their corporate policies, they don't negotiate. And if you take that line, you're going to get people who just go, well, I'm going to go negotiate lower over here then. And I think they're sort of ahead of that curve in lower sales because of that sort of mentality. Like CarMax had the same thing. Their sales are down. Their profit per vehicle is up, but their sales are down. And it's part of it in that whole thing is this we're not going to negotiate with you thing is great during the pandemic, right? Great during the shortage when you're like, okay, all these dealers are doing markups. AutoNation, no, we're never going to mark up. This isn't what we do. So you can go in there. But now that things are negotiable again, I think you'll see more hits. So.
Yep. And I recently spoke to none other than Ray Shefska about what he expects to see in the new and used car markets here in spring, moving into the summer car buying season. And I'm sharing it with you in the chat so that if you want, you can share it with our viewers in the comments, Justice. I sent it on the StreamYard chat. And basically, he thinks patient buyers will be rewarded as we move closer to summer. He sees the writing on the wall that for the first time in about 2 years, cars are being sold on average slightly under MSRP. That is pretty wild. I didn't know we'd get here so quickly, but I mean, I don't have the wisdom and the 40 years of experience that Ray Shefska has. But yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. So if you guys want to see the latest insights and advice from Ray, check out the link that we'll drop in the chat, and I'll make sure to post it on the comments as well. But we also got some Ford earnings, and it's the same story, but year over year, Q1 versus Q1, Ford's sales were down about 2.3%. Yeah. 2.7% compared to the same period last year. The decline in sales looks like it was primarily driven by lower retail sales. Not surprised there. I guess their fleet sales are still pretty healthy.
Yeah, because retail was down 6.3, right?
Okay. Yeah. So it's being
propped up by the fleet sales. Yeah,
exactly. Wow, interesting. And as we're heading into a recession, at least that's what most seem to think, and I tend to agree with them.
Yeah,
maybe a mild recession. I'm kind of surprised that so many enterprises are increasing their fleets right now, but I guess they may not have a choice depending on their line of work. Interesting stuff. But hey, at least the F-150 Lightning continues to be the best-selling electric truck in America.
Amazing when you have absolutely no competition that you can be the best-selling electric truck.
Yeah. So what about the Cybertruck? Did we learn anything new about it in the earnings call?
He did touch on the Cybertruck, and we got some pictures of the walking the line and the assembly. He said there will be a handout day in Q3. Where he's going to go live, and they're going to reveal all the specs and everything of the Cybertruck and hand out a few of the first vehicles. No major production until next year again. So it's still going to be limited production this year, but in Q3. And yeah, he talked about the production of it is not like building any other car that has ever been constructed so far. So anxious to see that. We'll see. I know with the electric Ram is coming out. You got the Silverado coming out.
It's so expensive, at least the electric Ram and
yeah,
the GMC Sierra.
But I mean, it's not like the F-150 Lightning has gone down in price or it's become affordable either. So you know, we'll see how Ford can hang on to that, because right now they're really the only name in the game. Like if you want a Lightning, you're probably not looking at Rivian as well. Rivian is a small little pickup. It's not a truck.
It's like for off-roading adventures, not for hauling a trailer around.
Yeah. If you're looking at the Lightning, you're probably looking at something like that's truck size, and it's the only one out there. So, you know, you got a lot of competition coming next year for it. So we'll see how Ford can hang on to that market share.
Yep. And then there's the Mustang Mach-E, which I will briefly
I know, Susanna. I know.
The Mustang Mach-E is basically just, it's lost its appetite because now you can get the Model Y for about the same price, and it's a way better vehicle, quite frankly. But I guess there's got to be something else we could talk about, Susanna, besides EVs, right? I don't know.
I know. Look, everybody knows all week long I have tried to avoid talking about EVs on this show because I know it's not an EV show, and the last thing I want to talk about or get a reputation of is the EV guy comes on, Ray and Zach, and all we talk about is EVs. But we're talking earnings, and
I've got new
Tesla released yesterday, and it is germane to the subject right now. But we have inventory levels too, right, Justin?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and bring that up. I sent it to you, Justice, if you want to share it, but I have it. Yeah. Some of the top level summaries here. Now, the latest new car inventories are out for April 1st. And the takeaway, in my view, is that Hyundai's really struggling. I mean, that's not new, but they just can't seem to get themselves out of the hole that they're into. I mean, Hyundai has not been able to get back to the healthier inventory levels that we've seen Ford get back to, and a variety of others.
Yeah.
But even Ford didn't do a whole lot better in April versus March 1st, but Ford is up a little bit. It really depends on exactly what you're looking for and if it's domestic or imported. Honda's numbers stayed the same versus March. Let's see what else is interesting here. Toyota's numbers stayed the same. It's the best.
That's interesting because Toyota still has some manufacturing issues. You know, trying to get enough out there. I mean, it's a good problem to have. So many people want your cars, you can't produce enough. But you know, it's interesting that their numbers are sort of
22 days supply. That's nothing to brag about. That's still pitiful. I believe the industry standard that they aim to be at is north of 40, right?
It's so as we talked about on yesterday's show, according to Cox Automotive, the ideal is a 60-day supply with another 15 days in transit or coming. Right now, the average in the industry is 56 days, which is a 58% increase so far this year. But it looks like Ford is hitting that just fine.
Yeah, so by that metric,
almost like no one wants to buy
Ford is doing all right. Yeah, maybe one too many recalls in 2023. We'll see. And I'm going to shout out Volvo real quick because that's actually the best Volvo inventory numbers we've seen in a long time. Maybe just nobody's buying them, or maybe they're able to produce more. I don't know. But Subarus are still incredibly difficult to get, at least if you're going to be picky about,
But Subaru has always been a low inventory leader. They've always been there. They just know how to produce cars really quickly and get them out. They have never been one of these people with a ton of inventory.
Okay.
I don't know that it's been 11 days. That seems kind of low.
It's
but
pretty low, but
they
it's
have definitely been under 60 days their entire existence.
Wow. Hey, if it works for them, it works.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, some of us say it's not a bad business model. Like instead of having a ton of inventory, if you can just build fast enough that people really aren't waiting, and you're not going to wait for a Subaru. It says 11 days, but that's really about what your wait if you order a Subaru. You're going to wait like 2 weeks. You're not waiting, 8, 12, 16 months like you do for some Toyotas.
Yep. But I just know right now, both Hyundais and Kias are some of the most in-demand affordable vehicles in 2023. So it's kind of sad to see them just held down so low, under 20 days supply. And I know that if you're looking for a specific Palisade or, that special EV6 in that certain paint color, you're going to have a hard time finding what you want locally. But
yeah. Well, and I got to be honest with you. I've said this before. I say it again. I will shout it out to Hyundai Kia right now. Your dealers are ruining your reputation.
Yeah.
Because when you say affordable, Justin, I'm telling you, I still have Hyundai Kia dealers all over the country still trying to do markups and forced add-ons, even today in this market. And you go, what are you thinking? Like, those days are so far over. Like, what are you doing? And you would think, with all the headlines about them being stolen, and you have to partner with AAA now because other insurance companies won't insure the vehicle. You've got these vehicle fires. You got the burning of the oil. And I had 2 Kias. I rebought a Kia because I liked the car. I'm not an anti-Hyundai Kia person at all. I know Kimberly has one. She likes it. We're not anti. I'm just anti the way these dealers are treating their product and the way it's going. And you have lots of negative headlines about the company, and the dealers are still like, hey, I'm selling a Bugatti here. Take it or leave it. Like, what are you doing with this? You're really hurting the brand's reputation. And it's not the brand doing it. It's not Hyundai Kia ruining the reputation. It's these dealers.
I can't help but wonder how long car dealer salespeople, especially like at Kia dealerships, how long they're going to try to play hard to get. Now, what I mean by that, let me explain. I've heard many, many stories of salespeople saying that, in this market, that's the best price you're going to get. I mean, take it or leave it. Like,
yeah,
that's what I mean by playing hard to get. When in reality, that is not true anymore. It was 8 months ago. I just wonder how long they can continue to play that game before you just move on to the next brand or the next dealership. I don't know.
Well, and I think that's the real problem for Hyundai Kia, that they need to get involved in this, because you're going to go to multiple dealers. And we say this all the time. You need to visit 10 to 15 dealers for you to get a deal. Deals aren't handed out, deals are earned, and you have to earn a deal. So you're going to go to 10, 15 dealers. But after your third or fourth Hyundai Kia dealer, when they're all just like, nope, take it or leave it, here's still markup, even in this, they're going to go to a different brand.
Yeah.
And that's going to eventually catch up to the OEM. And they need to get on board with this, because it's kind of ridiculous that this is still happening. And I see them, because you can get discounts if you go to the right dealers, but they're few and far in between.
Yep.
As opposed to most other brands where, like, you're not going to get a lot of discounts on Toyota, but you're also not going to get hit over the head with all kinds of markups and sort of this bad attitude.
Yeah, well, here at CarEdge, we don't just want to save you money. We want to save you time, too. And that's why we brought back CarEdge dealer reviews. And you also have dealer reviews now. So before you travel around to 15 different Kia dealers, that sounds miserable, quite frankly. Be sure to check out the dealerships that have been reviewed near you at CarEdge.com. Check out dealer reviews. It's quite helpful. I mean, that resource can really save you a lot of time and hassle when you're looking for a dealership that's going to be, dare I say, honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, easier to deal with. Let's put
Yeah,
it that way. Yeah, right now we have 2,821 reviews. So everyone,
that's a lot.
please, if you're shopping, go take a look there. If you're getting quotes all over the place, please go and review those dealerships. Even if you don't buy, as we say, and Ray has said a million times, you go to far more places to shop for a vehicle than you buy. If you're not buying from there, please leave them a review too. Say why you didn't buy. Maybe it just wasn't the right price for you, but everyone is really nice. Put that in there. Be honest in your reviews, please. This isn't any good if you're not honest. But go out there and review so we have as many reviews as possible in there. The more people we can help.
Yep. And if you're on the fence about whether or not it's even worth it to go through the hassle in quotation marks of negotiating on your next vehicle's price, remember that especially if you're financing in today's market, if you're looking at sometimes 10% APRs, depending on credit scores and depending on what you're purchasing, I mean, a small difference in price is going to build up and become a lot more over a 7-year loan term, because yeah, interest rates are not very nice to your pocketbook. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Negotiation goes a long way when it comes to your total cost of ownership. And one of the biggest, most often overlooked parts of total cost of ownership is interest paid over time. So we're here to help. We want to make sure that we can bring you the best affordability in the market, with what's possible in 2023. And we've got a promo going on to help you get there for less, don't we, Justice?
That's right. You can, if you would like to sign up for the Data or Coach package, we have Spring 20 to save you 20%. And if you're looking for an extended warranty, you can get an additional $100 off with Spring 100. Is that correct, Justin?
Yeah. I've been thinking about buying an extended warranty myself because we already sell we already have the best deals on extended warranties. And when you take another $100 off of that, it's like, I better go get my extended warranty before my car gets too old and then prices go up. Yeah, it's an unbeatable deal right now. So check out those promotions if you're interested. But
that's right. Yeah. See, here we go. Kimberly, yes, $100 off a VSC currently. And what is a VSC, Justin?
Vehicle service contract.
Yeah. Also, just another name for an extended warranty. The official inside name for an extended warranty.
Yes.
So we're actually almost hit our time, Justin. Believe it or not.
I refrained from going on and on about EVs, but next time, Justice, I can't guarantee that'll happen.
No, because next time is tomorrow at 12:45 Eastern on the CarEdge Electric Unplugged, where we will only be talking about EVs. So, yes. So join us over there where we can talk about EVs. So with Justin and I tomorrow for all the EV news. And there's lots of EV news. We will be back here tomorrow with Miss Kimberly Klein. I know you all miss Ray and Zach. They will be back on Monday. You will at least get Kimberly's Corner tomorrow. You still got to deal with me, but at least we'll have Kimberly to balance me out. And we will talk about, I don't know, whatever Kimberly wants to talk about. It's going to be her show tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Justin. I really appreciate you being here today. And I am looking forward to talking about all the EV stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, everyone, make sure to tune in if you want to learn about a new luxury vehicle that does not have a rear windshield. That's your teaser.
Yeah. Oh, I'm good. Tomorrow. I haven't talked about that with anybody yet. I'm interested because I have thoughts.
Yes.
Big surprise, I know. But all right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.